I don't like what's happening because I see myself in a lot of my mentions. I see myself from like 2012, angry, bitter Heat fan that is persecuted in the eyes of many. I regret saying that this is the worst finals ever. I have no idea what this finals may be. I actually think it's going to be a long series. I really do. And maybe we'll get a good game in there. It hasn't happened yet, but sure. What I meant to say is this is the least interesting finals ever to me in my lifetime. And that's through my prism. You can't tell me it's more interesting to me because it's to me. I am not at all invested in these storylines.
But I could throw you some Spurs and Nets. I could throw you
absolutely.
I was out on
Pistons,
those. Yeah, if I were cultivating a top five, the Spurs finals that didn't include the Miami Heat.
I would like the top five
there.
worst NBA finals
All right.
if possible.
Some
Yeah.
fanfare
Well,
too.
I don't want to do worst. I want to do least interesting because we can do a lot of retrospective stuff and say, well, that was a blowout. But headed into the finals, we were still watching it and there were interesting storylines, legacies on the line. That's not what's happening here. Please stop sending me that the finals are up over last year's finals, which isn't representative. I'll let Amin do that because I don't want to sound like defensive Heat fan because you're already projecting onto me that what I'm doing is a Heat thing. I'm not. I swear to you, I'm a basketball fan. I was super into Raptors Warriors because of the players that were on the court. This is just simply me not being invested in the storylines with the Bucks and Suns.
Let me backtrack for just a second because it has been an onslaught, and as always happens with this show, I catch the collateral damage on this stuff. So what ends up happening is we said and asked the question in a poll question, worst finals ever. And the result of that is a whole lot of hostility from people who are objecting to the Miami Heat homerism of enjoying last year's finals and not this year's.
Oh, easy there, Dan, because you're absolutely the little girl in the meme looking back and smiling at the camera as the house is on fire because you're the one that framed it that way. I'm actually the collateral damage for your public framing. And let me ask you, Dan Le Batard, do you find this finals interesting?
This is the part that I find interesting. Beyond wanting Chris Paul and Giannis to just end the season right now and split the trophy in half so that we could celebrate both of them, is I can't be the guy perpetually saying, enjoy the excellence, stop finding ways to criticize the excellence, and then have Giannis put up those two games in the finals and yawn at them.
Here's what I'm confused about, Amin. You do have some of that stuff that fans love. You do have a legacy on the line with Chris Paul, right? Everyone says he has to win an NBA championship. And then you have the climb of Giannis, right? This generational talent who has gone through some playoff woes and now is 3 games away from finally winning an NBA championship. That's all the stuff that NBA fans like. And I'm confused as to why no one cares, especially on the Giannis side. Like, we love to see that guy finally makes the climb, going to win his first championship, if indeed he does, and then hopefully go on a run with this team for many, many years. And people seem bored by Giannis, and I don't get it. Maybe he doesn't hit threes. I have no idea. But the guy's putting up 35 points and 15 rebounds a game in the NBA Finals.
No, I think the paths that both teams took that were obviously beset with injuries to opponents, I think that is eating away at some people. Not me, but I think that's one of the things that comes up when people are saying, oh.
Me chief among them. That has been my complaint throughout these finals, seeing the measurement distorted by Phoenix having a run that had so many injuries in it, and then Giannis getting hurt too, which made me think this was going to be different. But to see Giannis specifically go from that injury to playing the way that he is, I don't feel like I'm allowed to care about basketball and yawn at that.
It is truly one of the most miraculous things I've ever seen on a basketball court, to see what's happened to this guy. And 9 days later, he's playing in a game. And 2 days after that, he's playing incredibly. He's dropping 40 and 10. And then 2 days after that, he's doing it again, right? Those things are going to sit with, or should sit with us forever, regardless of who wins this series. We should remember these performances.
It won't. It won't unless he wins.
He has to win.
That's a crazy thing because everyone remembers Willis Reed, right? Hobbling out to Madison Square Garden and hitting the first 2 shots of the game, and the captain's doing it. Do you guys remember what he finished with
Well, he didn't play the rest of the game. He didn't
Right, he
make
had
the
4
rest.
points,
4
right?
points. Those
Yeah.
are the only points he scored. But we goo all over ourselves over it, right? But Giannis doing what he's doing is somehow yawn-inducing is kind of ridiculous.
They were the most important 4 points in Knicks history. I mean,
Were they? They were the first 4 points of that game?
They won the game, though, it's to the point. Of course, if they
Right.
lose the game, nobody remembers those 4 points. They would not be the most famous points in Knicks history if they lose by 1.
they criticize him for trying to play with
you
pain.
would.
I
The,
mean,
the sports radio talk show host of the time, before it's been invented, it would be absolutely.
Fire up the time machine. Let's go back.
I mean, Willis Reed, are you kidding? Coming out there, giving us 4 points. But you know what? We got the fans so excited early on that when Willis left the game, it sucked the entire air, the energy out of the entire building. Willis Reed is selfish. Should have never came out and played those first couple of minutes. Never should have scored the first 4 points. If you can't finish the game, you know what? Don't start the game, Willis. Don't start the game. You gave us hope. You gave us energy, and then you left the game, and you sucked all the energy out of the entire building. Willis Reed, please.
Mike, I interrupted you. So are you offering an apology or just a clarification?
Oh,
A
jeez.
clarification, because you know me, I'll never apologize for anything. It's just not that interesting. Now, I don't want to close the door. It can get very interesting, right? The quality of play can improve. The games can be more tightly contested. That's why I don't want to just be aggregated as a guy that says this is bad, and I don't want to give you the impression that I'm not malleable on this. My opinion can change, but stop sending me the bubble finals as if that's any sort of indicative of what's going on here. It's not a Heat thing. I swear to God.